Hello and welcome. This is your Wish Upon a Star lunar horoscope for Thursday, February 11, 2021. The new moon occurs while transiting the 26th mansion of the moon at 7:06 p.m. and that's using Universal Time Coordinated and Tropical Astrology, again on the 11th of February. Luna's activation of lunar mansion number 26 during a new moon at 0% light is potent for completing receptive magic spells while beginning plans for projective magical rituals. Mansion of the Moon number 26 is in effect from the afternoon on February 11th at 3:43 p.m. until the afternoon of February 12th at 3:17 p.m. With the new moon occurring in Aquarius at 7:06 p.m. on the 11th, lunar mansion number 26 is magically activated at the exact time of the new moon. So again, this is in Aquarius, the new moon, and it's activating lunar mansion 26 at the time it becomes a new moon at 0% light. And we're using universal time coordinated. Now, keep in mind that the number assigned to each mansion of the moon may vary relying upon the cultural and astrological attributes of the system being used. What pinpoints the exact lunar mansion to which we are referring is made clear by the use of the star to be wished upon, as well as by the name of the indicated mansion of the moon. Those are the two things that really nail it down: the star that we're wishing upon and the name of the mansion. And sometimes there's more than one name, but we give you the group of names. It's usually one or two, sometimes three or four, but so for different cultures, but we give you all the names that we have come across. Okay, now the Astrology Angel magical invocations and horoscope prediction method, which we teach, should be used with all mindfulness, since very powerful forces of manifestation are unleashed. This is intended exclusively for entertainment purposes. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. I'm a Rosicrucian seer, biblical astrologer, Christian psychic, and Gnostic mystic. And this is Readings by Rosemary Angelic Transmission. Now, regarding the lunar mansion, Luna will be in Aquarius at 21 degrees, 25 minutes, and 40 seconds, moving into Pisces at 4 degrees, 17 minutes, 9 seconds, according to Abraham. So, mansion of the moon, number 26 that we're talking about in the system we're using, is taking that portion. We're indicating this portion for this mansion of the moon. Okay? It's you notice that it goes from Aquarius to Pisces, but the new moon's going to happen while it's still in the Aquarius portion of this mansion, since the mansion goes from Aquarius to Pisces. So it's while it's in it'll go new when become completely new when it's in the Aquarius portion, and specifically between 21 degrees Aquarius and off to 4 degrees Pisces, but it's on the Aquarius end of it when the moon becomes new. And this is according to Abraham, these coordinates, okay? Now the star to wish upon inside the 26th mansion of the moon is called, the mansion is called Al-Muqdim. The star is named Markab, that dwells in Pegasus, the winged horse, okay, being the forespout of the water bucket, according to Warnock. And if you find out what these lunar mansions, what these names come from, I looked it up. They usually come from something like the forespout of the water bucket, and you look up Al-Farq al-Muqdim in Arabic to English, and it's Arabic for this astrological facet. Okay, and this according to Christopher Warnock, specifically this name, Al-Farq al-Muqdim, okay, and Markab, okay, is told to us by Robson. We'll get to that in a minute here. Now, regarding the star that we're going to wish on, again, Markab, there's an angel that rules over Markab. So we want to ask the angel of Alpha Pegasi is another name. Alpha Pegasi is another name for Markab, okay? Markab or Alpha Pegasi. Alpha Pegasi, Alpha Pegasi and Markab are the same star, and that's the one we're wishing upon. It's in Pegasus, the constellation. And the angel's name is called Tagriel, 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 or Tagriel. to bring, and the purpose of it, and asked this angel, Tagriel, to bring agape love to the petitioner. Now, Al-Farq al-Muqdim brings spiritual love rather than romantic feelings. Sorceresses and sorcerers create representations for strong friendships, long-lasting committed relationships, secure journeys by land, strong prisons, and cruel detention centers. Where Warnock details one of the functions of this mansion as being the fortification of buildings. Agrippa describes that mansion number 26 obliterates jails and annihilates detention centers and other types of structures, naming it Al-Farq or Fragol Mokaden. So Agrippa gives this mansion one of two names, Al-Farq or Fragol Mokaden. Okay? Now, Christopher Warnock is recommending that such establishments be strengthened. Okay? So Agrippa is telling you that these structures are going to be broken down. So Warnock is telling you that these structures should be strengthened so they don't break down. So it all makes sense. It all makes sense. And magicians also use Al-Farq al-Muqdim or Fragol Mokaden, those are the three names, to form renderings depicting women cleansing or and grooming their hair, which helps when requesting spiritual friendships from a Tagriel. Okay, so if you see commercials with a woman brushing her hair, or combing her hair, or washing her hair, that's a talisman for this mansion, number 26, or in some it might be number 24. But what nails it down is its name, Al-Farq or Fragol Mokaden or Al-Farq al-Muqdim, and the star Markab or Alpha Pegasi. Okay, that's what nails it down. So when you see these commercials, or you see these scenes in movies or TV shows, or pictures and advertisements of women washing their hair and combing their hair through the water and brushing their hair and all this, and you see that, that's specifically for this lunar mansion, and it is used in sales because it's magical. It causes things to happen. And we'll show you here what it makes occur. And you'll see sometimes in movies they'll have a whole bunch of weird scenes in a movie. Wonder, why did they put that scene in that movie? That's so crazy. Why did they put because they're putting in the lunar mansions in sequence. Some movies contain several lunar mansions, or some commercials might have one or two, and advertisements maybe one if it's a picture, that kind of thing. Okay, and that's the way it works. And this has been going on since the year zero, because there's always been theater, and these are ancient. This is ancient stuff, okay? Ancient. And, it's gone on in theaters. There's always been theater, and there's as long as there have been rulers, there have been people that needed to oversee. And in the overseeing of these people, they can get certain things to happen by using certain images. And in the old days, they might have to make something out of silver. Nowadays, they put it on the silver screen. You understand? All right. Now, so regarding Agrippa, what Agrippa said, Henry Cornelius Agrippa, Agrippa's revelation of the name of Mansion of the Moon, number 26, as referring to the first drawing, this drawing of water, okay, causes brotherly love, vim and vigor of detainees. So prisoners are made healthy. It causes brotherly love, healthy prisoners, or healthy, detainees, as well as Agrippa's contention that it demolishes penitentiaries and construction edifices. So it breaks down jails and buildings. Okay. Now, regarding Agrippa's disclosure of the main icon for Lunar Mansion number 26 as being the representation of a woman bathing, soaping, and combing out her tresses and her curls, he mentions that it be made of white wax. as well as adding mastic into the mix. This finished magical talisman can then be scented with fragrances that possess a pleasing aroma. The magical effect will result in the conjurer obtaining support and adoration. So if somebody puts that into some kind of an ad, they're trying to get you to adore them. They're trying to get you to support them, to, they want you, if you see somebody combing their hair or washing their hair or brushing their hair, they're trying to get you to support them. They're trying to get you to adore them. Now, they may not know that. Somebody may have told them, oh, people like to see you do this in your video, so why don't you go do that, and I'm sure everybody will like it. They're like, okay, sure, I'll do that. And sure enough, it works. Because it's a specific talisman been used since the beginning of time. Since the beginning of man, anyway. You see what I'm saying? And then it's used, and it always has the same result. Okay. Now, according to Kabbalistic lore, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and the planet Uranus, while Pisces is ruled by Jupiter and Neptune. Aquarius's birthstone is amethyst, with Pisces' birthstone being aquamarine. Now, rosaries and amulets using amethyst, wouldn't that be beautiful? An amethyst rosary or an amethyst amulet or even amethyst ring are made magically potent for this praxis. Now, Kabbalistic and alchemical planetary associations, in this instance of a new moon in Aquarius, whilst transiting through lunar mansion number 26, could be utilized with perfumes, essential oils, herbs, or flowers, as well as colors. The planetary alchemical metal in this case would indicate lead for Saturn or uranium for Uranus. Now, warning, lead is toxic, and the absorption or the ingestion of this material, this metal, can cause lead poisoning, and therefore lead is neither realistic nor is it workable for this operation by common persons. Lead should only be handled by those who possess the knowledge and the skill to do so. Another warning, uranium is both toxic and radioactive. It'll glow in the dark, and therefore is neither pragmatic nor is it usable for this operation by common persons. And again, uranium should only be used by those individuals that have obtained the license and the proficiency to do so. Now, Agrippa also mentions that Mansion of the Moon number 26, for this mansion, Agrippa mentions that the ancients traditionally made an emblem of white wax and also mastic to form the rendering of a woman cleaning and running a comb through her beautiful locks and curls, which was created as a magical talisman for Mansion of the Moon called Al-Farq al-Mugdim, or Fragol Mokaden, for the explicit purpose of causing sustenance and admiration to be bestowed upon the magician or the one for whom the sorcery was being performed. It's important to note here that according to Vivian Irwood Robson, author of the book The Fixed Stars and Constellations and Astrology, the Greek astronomer Ptolemy gives the precise planetary attributes of Mars and Mercury to the star Markab, or Alpha Pegasi, which is located specifically in the wing of Pegasus, the winged horse, being also named, again, Alpha Pegasi, Pegasus. Now, the alchemical metal of Mars is iron, and the associated metal, chemically speaking, for Mercury is quicksilver, also called mercury. Now, Mars's corresponding metal of iron is therapeutic when ingested by people that have too low of an amount of it in their bloodstream, and iron should neither be ingested nor overly absorbed by folks with too high of a measure of iron in their blood. Regarding the safety of working with iron, consider that cast iron cookware is generally considered safe to use, with only caveat being given to individuals known to have too high of a quantity of iron in their bloodstream, cautioning them to beware cooking with cast iron, which may leach the metal into their food. Since iron is not ingested in the fashioning of rosary chains, amulet bases, or jewelry settings, iron is both practical and usable for this praxis. Ptolemy also divulges the second planetary attribute of the star Markab as being Mercury, which is assigned to the alchemical metal of quicksilver. Now, the warning here is that quicksilver, the metal also called mercury, is toxic, as well as being liquid at room temperature. and is therefore not pragmatic, nor is it workable for this operation. It's in a liquid state at room temperature. Now, about it's very toxic. Now, about the merit of the metals mentioned by Agrippa for this lunar mansion's icon. The question of whether the substances white wax mixed with mastic are usable or not for the shaping of the magical talisman emblem. The answer is obvious. These extremely pliable waxes and gums are not suitable, nor are they usable for the making of rosary chains, amulet bases, nor jewelry settings. In summary, for the purpose of making rosary chains, jewelry settings, or amulet bases, one can consider using iron, which is alchemically associated with Mars, being one of the planetary natures of the star Markab as revealed by Ptolemy. For the lunar mansion named Al-Farq, Al-Mugdim, or Fragol Mokaden, a rosary made with amethyst beads, that would be beautiful, amethyst beads and an iron chain for a rosary, affixed with an iron rosary chain, would be of great magical value for working with the energies of the star known by the names of Alpha Pegasi and Markab. So if you see where they're using amethyst a lot, that's Aquarius. That's Aquarius. Okay, now, other Kabbalistic correspondences for lunar mansion number 26 are as follows. Moon in Aquarius. Luna gives the water bearer a worldly quality, as well as altruism, sovereignty, and exceptionality. The water bearer is also the life of the party at any gathering and is therefore a delight to have around. Planetary archangel for Luna or the moon is Gabriel. God is my strength, power of God, and a messenger of God. Zodiac angel for Aquarius is Cambriel, whose divine tone is I know. Tarot card for Luna or the moon is the High Priestess. The High Priestess card for the moon. The moon card is for Pisces. So the moon, specifically the planet the moon, is called the planet by the ancients, is associated with the High Priestess. And she is here sitting between the pillars of Joachim and Boaz with the triple crown for the goddess on her head, the cross on her chest, and she is reading the Torah scroll, because the Torah scroll is for the left brain and the picture is for the right brain. The pineal in the middle brings the two together, is the synthesis of the thesis, and the antithesis is the synthesis of that. Right, so that's the High Priestess card, and it is the letter Gimel, Hebrew letter Gimel associated with this card. And Gimel means camel, and Gimel in the High Priestess card is the path to the higher self, to the Sephira of Keter, the crown chakra, the top supernal. All right. Now, also, if you're a Bible lover, if you like Bibles, if you're a Bible thumper, you can turn to Psalm 119, and you can look at the letter Gimel, and there'll be a passage, a psalm for the letter Gimel. You can use with the High Priestess, you can use for the moon. Okay. The musical note, let me get to the musical note in the ancient Western array for a Luna or the moon is F. So we're going to play that for you now. Okay. There you go. Now, regarding the tarot card for Aquarius, the tarot card for Aquarius is the star card, the star card here. She's got one foot that she's kneeling on the land and one foot in the water, and it's let's see, I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's an 8-pointed star. The number 8 has to do with the Sephira in Kabbalah, or Kabbalah, tomato, Kabbalah as Hod, or Hod. 8 is associated with Hod. Okay, so that's the star card. Okay, beautiful card, the star card. Now in some decks, they have the numbers different for, I believe the star and the emperor switched. In some decks, the justice card and the strength card are switched. But in this deck, it's number 17. Number 17. Now, the musical note in the ancient Western array for Aquarius is A. I'm going to play that for you now. Okay. A for Aquarius. A for Aquarius. Okay, it just happens to be that way, I guess. Now, regarding the information that we've given you, it's in the attached document, and even in this video, it's based on the oral tradition known as Kabbalah, taught to me by Rosicrucian clergy when I was but a young girl, the facts of which I've committed to memory. And much of the information about star magic was taught to me through an adjacent German pagan coven, which had established satellite covens throughout the world. I was in one of those covens, I began writing a book based on these extremely important teachings in 1988, which I have entitled to be my Star Magic Grimoire. So I did it all by hand, and now I'm putting it into, giving it to you in a blog form and also in a video form. And I'd like to share my reference books with you, and you can click on the blog in the description box to get the page numbers. I'm going to give you the titles of the book. First one is Mansions of the Moon, a lunar zodiac for astrology and magic, second edition, with 2019 to 2033 mansion ephemeris, written by Christopher Warnock in 2019, illustrated by Nigel Jackson in 2019, and published by Renaissance Astrology in 2019. A very important book. That ephemeris is very important. The pictures of each mansion is in there, and just so much information there. It's really a worthwhile book to have. If you love lunar mansions as much as I do, you must have Christopher Warnock's book by Renaissance Astrology Publishing. Now, 3 books of occult philosophies. The second book, Llewellyn's Source Book series, it's authored by Henry Cornelius Agrippa of Nettesheim in 1533, translated by James Freak. So being a freak isn't always bad. In 1650, and edited and annotated by Donald Tyson in 1993. Published in 2000 by Llewellyn Publications. Donald Tyson is a wonderful author when it comes to magic, especially high magic. And he's got a really good book that talks about how you use Mercury as the center of your Kabbalah instead of the sun. It's very interesting. And the third one is The Fixed Stars and Constellations in Astrology, authored by Vivian E. Robson, Bachelor of Science, published by American Federation of Astrologers, Inc., cover designed by Jack Cipolla. And again, that's The Fixed Stars and Constellations in Astrology by Robson. Thank you for joining us, and please join us again.